Welcome, everyone. I am so excited to introduce a powerhouse in personal transformation, Annita Gibson. She has a diverse background, an award-winning acting career, entrepreneurship, and she makes lasting, impactful change in the clients that she works with. Annita Gibson is a mindset coach and empowerment strategist, and she has helped countless individuals live their life with purpose. I've enjoyed working with Annita with my own personal leadership program, and I have watched her fully commit to the program, and she has created amazing changes. Annita's story is one of determination, growth, and authenticity. I'm excited to share her valuable insights with you all. Welcome, Annita.
Thank you, Bianca. Wow, what an introduction. It's fantastic to be here with you.
I want to start with what inspired your journey to start in personal transformation, and adding to that, how has it evolved over time?
Mm. I've given this a lot of thought because I had been saying up until recently that I've been a professional mindset coach for 4 years, which is true. That's when I first technically started calling myself by that. But more so to that, I've actually been coaching for a lot longer. I've been in the space, but without the technical, I guess, label or what have you. So I think back to when I was younger, probably in school age, I always played sport. It's always athletic. So I was around coaching in that capacity. And also from playing sport, then there was dance as well and acting. So I've always been in environments where I've been trained and been coached. And then from there, it sparked my desire to also train and coach and support others. So, and I think back to transitioning through this period of, yes, being coached. Then I started on the journey of university. So I was actually a late bloomer, I guess, when you could say, going to university. So I started at age 37 and I was doing psychology. And so, look, I was always fascinated by the mind and the power of the mind, because the mind is everything. So I was just really curious about that fact, and I really wanted to learn more and delve into that more. And at the same time I was studying, I was also working at the casino as a games dealer. And I'd been working on that craft for many years. And as it turned out, I was put forward to compete in this competition, actually a very big competition. It's called the Australasian Croupier Championships. And what that means is all the best dealers from Australia, New Zealand, Macau, and Singapore come together, and they compete to show their skills, to shine, and to see who is the best dealer, the best casino dealer. Now, I really coached myself through that process. That's where the coaching really, I started thinking more about coaching for myself. And what that meant was I was studying, I was juggling a lot of things, but I knew it was the mindset. So it was really more so about psychology training at that time. But I knew that I had to had to create in the mind, had to really visualize the picture, the outcome that I wanted to create in order for it to come to fruition. And I did that. And so there was no mistake. There's no mistake that I won, because as I could see it, because everybody was good. So like just showing up to the competition where everybody is at an elite level of skill and technical ability, I had to trump that. Yes, I have expertise in those skills and technical skill sets and the customer service and the engagement and all that, but I knew that there was the edge I needed, and that was mindset. So leading up to the competition for weeks, I was visualizing the space. I could see it so clearly in my mind's eye. I could see the judges sitting in front of me. I could imagine the energy and see the conversation back and forth. I visualized myself holding the winning trophy, all those things. And I use other tools, which I also use with my programs now with my coaching clients, to really lift your energy. So things like resource anchors, like really grounding yourself in, short and sharp, and get ready for competition very quickly. That was something that I'd done before I learned the technical term for it. And things like music as well, because music has such power, and having those awesome favorite songs that just really get you amped up and lift your energy, because it's all about energy. And when you're in a competition such as that, the judges feel the energy as well. So that's where I think sort of coaching really took on a new mind of its own. And then from that point, finishing my degree, I then went on to do 2 certifications in coaching. So I'm a Gallup Strengths coach, which I used in organizations in learning and development, and also an internationally certified results coach. So I have been officially calling myself a coach for 4 years. But like I said, it really started long before then, really back to childhood years and sport. That's where I first sort of was in that world of coaching.
Yeah, definitely a really strong background in and achievements of everything you've done. And what I really love that you talk to is the mind and what you've understood as you've gone along and the visualization. I really love that, and how you put yourself in that space and then all of a sudden it manifests. There's a lot to be talked to or about when it comes to visualization practices. So it sounds like you've done a lot of work in that area.
Yes, thank you. No, I've known for a long time because just really passionate about sport and competition. I knew that for people to compete and win at a very high level, you have to have the picture in the mind. You have to see it first. And as it so happens, I probably learned this as a child, to be honest, because my dad used to race motorbikes and he was Australian champion back in 1978. He raced all types of motor racing. And he used to tell me about walking the track. So he'd go to a race meet and he'd walk the track first before the event, and then he'd start seeing it in his mind and imagining him racing, and he could see the corners and the ups and downs and all of that. And a lot of athletes do that before they actually run the race, swim the race, compete in the race. They see it first in their mind, and then they do it in reality. So I knew it was a key part to winning and to success. And so I've certainly incorporated, and it's also something that I teach my clients as well. It's such a powerful, powerful tool.
Yeah, I loved how you mentioned that you really lift your energy that's required for that. And it sounds like it's in the family. So, can I ask them, what was your biggest breakthrough that you've experienced?
My biggest breakthrough, oh, gee, I think personally for me, it is really overcoming my sense of low self-worth, self-doubt. I was incredibly shy as a child. I wouldn't go anywhere without my mum taking me in. I didn't like going to group events, just very, very nervous and lots of anxiety and things like that. So my breakthrough is overcoming those things and really stepping into my power, but I guess the power that I have learned to step into, if that makes sense, because it's not natural. It hasn't been natural, although I know people look at me now and think, oh, yeah, yeah, she's always been that way, full of confidence and able to do it. But no, it's so not true. So I think back to 2020 when the world was pivoting and we really got into these video meetings. Now, the first video meet first, well, not the first, not the first many video meetings, I would never have a camera on. I was terrified. Seriously, I'd break out in a cold sweat thinking that this camera, this thing in front of me, was going to swallow me. So, no camera, and forget about raising a hand or unmuting and speaking, because I was so fearful of judgment and what will people think, and how will I sound, and all this irrational chatter that was inside my head that isn't real. But that's been a massive breakthrough for me because it's something I struggled with for many, many years. And it's really something I've been able to overcome through going through my coaching certification, coaching myself, being coached by you in your awesome program as well, has helped me overcome those barriers.
Mm. I loved how you spoke with such authenticity and vulnerability there of these are the things that really do hold us back and that you've been able to work through it. And I loved how you said that it isn't real. So often it's the things that we fear that when we look closer, they're not as real as what we make them out to be.
Absolutely. And my dad always said to me that the only thing that we have to fear in this world is fear itself. There's nothing to fear, and fear is not real. There's a couple of acronyms for fear, false evidence appearing real. There's another one I like, face everything and rise, but it's just here. It's not, it's just in our imagination, and fear stops us from doing the things that we want to do, like living our dreams, like taking that chance. And everything that we want is on the other side of fear. We need to step over that ledge, and then we'll hit paradise. So, but yeah, it really takes courage. And the thing with courage is courage isn't the absence of fear. It's not like this big brave lion, I'm brave and now I will conquer fear. No, it is seriously, courage is being fearful, feeling the fear and doing it anyway, leaning into that place. And for me, when it was going back to 2020 and the video calls was, all right, turn on the camera. Oh no. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm safe. I'm safe. I'm safe. Okay. And going through a process of that. So first of all was the camera, and then much later on came the unmuting and then the raising my hand and all of that. But it was just working through a place of incredible fear inside that was unreal, all made up. And then just by doing the thing, like, huh, that wasn't so bad after all. I'm okay. And the more that I did that, the easier it became. And that's like with anyone doing anything new. I like to remind my clients that we're all beginners once, So we do fall down, we do scrape our knees, we do make mistakes, and that's okay. That's how we learn. But through practice and time again, we do get better. And we can absolutely achieve mastery in that thing if we keep at it. And that's my driving force, to be able to show up and communicate better and better every time, so I can reach more people to support them through their personal development and growth.
100%. I loved how you answered that and how you spoke to fear and a couple of the mantras you had. Can you say those ones again? I thought that was amazing.
Around fear,
Yeah.
so there is face everything and rise. So rather than fear being debilitating, like just face everything and rise. And there's another one, forget everything and run. That's the negative side of it. But yeah, fear is not real. It's not and courage is not the absence of fear. It is feeling the fear and doing it anyway.
So it's a timely question to ask you, what key principles guide your interactions with others and the work that when you're working with people, what are those key guides that you use?
Mm. Yeah, for me, my purpose in this world is to inspire and empower. And I see so many people playing small, and I know it because that was me, because I played small in my life. Not so much when I was younger, but something kicked in when I don't even know, late 20s or 30s, where I started to sort of shrink. And I'm acutely aware that time is finite, time is precious, and we don't know how long we have on this earth, so we got to get about living now. And for me, my brother sadly passed away unexpectedly, suddenly in 2021, the same year, incidentally, that I started this coaching journey, like really stepping into it. And I saw that he had dreams unfulfilled. And in a way, like even though he had a nice life, but I knew he wanted more. So he was like kind of stuck in that comfort zone, which we all know is the most dangerous place to be, right? It's not comfortable at all. And so his life was cut short, and he never got to fulfill those big dreams, because playing small, I was playing small, and that was my wake-up call. So for me, supporting people to have the dream, you've got the dream, that spark lives inside you. It's there for a reason. If you weren't able to do it, it wouldn't be there. So really trust and listen to that spark. And now let's work out the steps together that we can take to move forward to progress towards the goal. So we start with the goal as the big target piece, and then we strip it right back, because you need to have something like archery. You need to have something that you're aiming towards that target. But I think where people fall down is they look at where they are now and then the target, and they want to do one quantum leap up and be at the end of the line. And it doesn't work like that, and that's where a lot of defeatism comes out, because It's too hard. You can't do that. So we break it down, have the goal, bring it back to the incremental steps, and let's make the progress towards your dreams, holding that vision very clear. So using the visualization techniques and really stripping back. Because what I find with a lot of my clients, work with a lot of women that are high performing women, and women are masterful. As you know, Bianca, we juggle a lot of things, juggle responsibilities. There's the career, there could be the family, there's study, all sorts of different things. And quite often times we put ourselves last, or our own passions, interests last, and all these other things take the front. And so it's really about stripping back and prioritizing. And there's so much that we do that we don't need to do. It's really just procrastination techniques. We can, eliminate them altogether. We can delegate, but let's just really find out what is going to move the needle. What is it thing? What are those actions that day by day will move you closer to your goal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine that would have been a very challenging time when your brother passed, and it is quite a moment for a lot of people where they see those times, and it does ignite that understanding that the time that we have is now.
100%.
I
100.
love, sorry.
No, not at all. All good.
I loved how you explained the archery of the goals and how it does play out like that. And I imagine with your coaching clients that you work with, that is such an important step to being able to achieve those goals in a way that makes them real.
100%. And I think when people first come into coaching, they're surprised because really true coaching is partnering together, that goal in mind, and then the client being led by the client and what is meaningful to them and the actions that are meaningful to them. So some clients might, between sessions, be able to do one thing. Perfect. Others might want to do 5 things to work on, but it is led by the client and what they're able to do. Now, the actions that they take need to be really achievable, like really bite-sized goals, bite-sized actions, so they can feel the success. Because the more that we feel the success, the more that we keep going, the more momentum it builds until so you can take quantum leaps towards your goals. So I think people are most surprised when they come into coaching. We really simplify things. I'm not saying here's 10 more things that you have to do on your already full plate. No, forget about that. Let's take away from the plate, let's strip it right back and look at what's really important. And let's just start with, what's one thing you can do this week? What's 2 things? And just move on that. And it is so surprising when you think about the small incremental steps making such a big difference, because people come into the program, as I had these ideas as well, that I've got this big dream, this big goal, and I've got to do 100 things, and I've got to be juggling all the time. That's the only way I'm going to make it. I've got to be working flat out, working hard, exhausting myself. But no, that is actually not the secret sauce for success. And so yeah, it's really refreshing for clients to find out, wow, this coaching thing, it makes my life easier. I'm succeeding, I'm moving forward, I feel more joy in myself, more fulfillment, and room to breathe as well.
Mm.
Mm,
I love that. It resonates so deeply with what coaching actually is, and I think you explained it so well.
thank you.
Yeah. So my next question is about, we have those moments and we do achieve and we achieve, but sometimes there's plates spinning in the background and we want to stay grounded, and there's various aspects of life. How do you stay grounded? What's your
Mm,
approach?
great question. Thank you. Well, meditation is a priority for me. Every morning, I find for me, it's best first thing in the morning before my feet touch the floor, certainly before my phone gets turned on. This is this is good information for anyone out there addicted to their phone. Turn your phone off and do something positive to start the day. Feed the mind good stuff. So I will start quietly and I'll sit in quiet meditation for just 10 minutes every day before I actually get up. So that's really powerful to do. Now, I understand meditation is different for everybody. So sitting cross-legged quietly may not fit for a certain type of personality, and that's totally okay. And so, like I share with my clients, there's many types of meditation. There is a walking meditation, where it could be you're going for a beautiful walk in nature, and to keep yourself present, it could be a naming of objects as you go, as you notice things. So it could be a rock or grass or this or that. So it's a naming, but it's a mindful walking process. It could be a guided meditation. They're beautiful too, where, you're listening to someone taking you through a wonderful journey, whether it's through the rainforest, the waterfalls, hearing this, describing that, and it's just a really beautiful state. So meditation is really key to tap into our subconscious mind, and that's where the magic happens. We live so much in our conscious field, and I love the iceberg analogy. That's where I'm going here. So, like the tip of the iceberg is just like the conscious part, maybe, I don't know, 10%, and then the mass of the iceberg sits beneath the surface, and that is the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is magic because it will believe whatever you tell it. So it's really important that you tell it the good stuff. And that's where like the visualization, the imagining, the starting the day with mindfulness practices, thinking about how you want your day to unfold, really, really powerful key. Another thing that I love is grounding. So super important. I love having my bare feet on the ground. So on the grass, going to the beach, wet sand's better than dry sand, but it's all good. But bare feet on the ground, because in the earth, there are negative ions, and that's what we need for our body to remain balanced and healthy. So when we live in these artificial worlds that we live in, there's artificial light and there's technology and there's radiation and chemicals, all these things, it causes our bodies to have too much of the positive ions. And positive ions will lead to stress and possibly even disease in the body. So it causes a lot of health issues. And that's why it's super important that we ground our energy. It's so simple to do as well. Like I'd come home if I'm, out and about, I'm in concrete, I'm in shoes all day. I can't wait to come home, kick off the shoes, and just a couple of minutes, barefoot on the grass, and you feel it instantaneously. So that's my big takeaways. Meditation, if you're not doing it, incorporate it in your life. Even just a couple of minutes a day will make a world of difference. And grounding.
Yeah, nice answers. I've heard that about the ions before, and it does really help in grounding. And it's like anything, it's that practice that makes it easier. And when you're in the now, and you talked before about the goal setting and things that you break it down, all we have is the now. So practicing those grounding techniques, I love everything that you mentioned, because it does provide more space to breathe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, we live in fast times, and stressful times, and that creates a lot of anxiety in people. So anxiety is the fear, the worry about the future, something that hasn't happened yet. You're fixated in the future. And depression is a past state. When we can ground our energy and be present, we soon realize there are no problems. We aren't in imminent danger. There's no saber-toothed tiger that's chasing, chasing us down. So we can be calm and really calm our nervous system. So I recommend that to my clients as well, that have that stress response or get highly anxious, in order to grounding the bare feet on the soil and start naming things. And also the breathing is very important. And thinking about and speaking about, what can I see right now? What can I hear? What can I smell? What can I taste? And that's having you look for things in your immediate environment, which will bring you back to the here and now as well.
You mentioned your dad's visualization and your brother's impact. What other background experiences, having gone through life, do you bring to your unique approach to coaching?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. So, well, I've got an acting background, so I studied for many years, and also one of the highlights of my life was going to the neighborhood playhouse in New York City, where a lot of the famous actors have trained, and there we did the Meisen technique, so very famous acting teachers. So how I bring that to my clients and helping them to evolve is really to develop that bulletproof confidence, and things like that I've been able to overcome, where not being swallowed by the camera, not being terrified of the camera, but making it my friend. And I utilize things that I also trained in as an actor, so helping them with presenting themselves, and yeah, developing that confidence and that connection with who's across from them. And it's also using tools from acting, where it's almost like if someone's stepping into a situation, whether it might be a networking event, it could be a party, or maybe a one-on-one with a superior, a boss, or something like that, and then they start to freak out and be nervous. So I'll teach tools where before they go in, obviously there's things that you do. There's one that I love to do, and that's the Superman pose. And that's like, you feel like you're superhero. So it could be the hands on the hips, making yourself very big, or hands in the sky, fists to the sky, and just feeling really, really strong. Breathing, really getting to some deep breathing before stepping into a situation, and finding out some things about the other person that you're meeting with. So you have some pre-prepared questions, you have an opportunity, and then you ask some interesting questions to get them talking, because interested is interesting. So once we get the other person speaking, it takes the pressure off the individual, it's onto the other person, and they get to share about themselves. And that's people's most favorite topic normally is themselves. So teaching them these skills that, you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to be the expert on anything. The person you talk to, they have the expertise in their world. So ask the questions and helping them to formulate those so they can really, really feel confident stepping into any sort of situation.
I love that superhero pose. I guess in a lot of ways, acting would help because we're acting all the time, right? We've got even our own personalities have been us practicing a role from parents, from imprinting over the course of our lives.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, the fact of the matter is we have so many identities, right? So that is acting essentially. So, I'm a daughter, I'm a dog mama, I'm a businesswoman, I'm an artist, I'm a dancer, I'm a singer. I do lots of different things. And every time I step into that identity, there is a unique personality that comes out. And sure, I'm a Gemini, so I already have multiple personalities, but it really does, it speaks to identity. And no matter what you are doing in life, whatever career you're working in or your surroundings, you embody that identity and give it the voice that it's looking for. And that essentially, it could be playing a character, but with authenticity. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. And it's so true that we do, every time we show up for a different particular part of life, there is a different identity that is present there. So it's very true. What's one piece of advice that has stuck with you throughout your journey?
Oh, okay. Well, the first thing that pops up, my mentor often says, winners never quit, quitters never win. And I just think about that for life. And it's a good reminder to all my clients that, there's going to be tough times. We do fall down, we do make mistakes. There are hard times, but to keep that future vision really clear and just get up, dust yourself off, and keep going. And there's another saying, a setback is a setup for a comeback, which I really, really love. So just keep going. When I look at my life, I've done a bunch of different things, and I have quit things in my life. And I look back and think, gee, I wonder if I hadn't have quit, how far could I have taken that? But the thing is, I'll never know, because that's in the past. And so when you have a love, a passion, a vision, just keep going. Everybody is on their own journey. And the worst thing that we can sometimes fall into the trap of is comparison. Comparing our journey to someone else's, but that's apples and oranges and cherries and grapes. We're all so different, and we are all already on a journey. We've all started. We're all having this life adventure, but just focus, stay in your own lane. Don't worry about anyone else's doing, because this is your unique unique journey, and just don't quit. If it's meaningful to you, if you're passionate about the thing, keep going. It might take you a year, it might take you 10 years, but just keep going, never quit.
But got a lot of powerful sayings. That's the mindset work that you've done, the coaching coming through. Winners never quit, quitters never win. And I think that it's so true. It just keeps you, if you keep going, eventually things happen, and they do.
Absolutely. And there's another thing that a manager had told me years ago in business, because I was feeling quite let down and disappointed when I missed out on an opportunity to step up and be promoted in a different role a long time ago. And she said to me, whatever is meant for you won't pass you. And wow, that is a game changer. That really stayed with me forevermore. So if things don't work out, it's like it wasn't meant for me. I go for something, I work hard, I really, I try, I really want something, but there's a peacefulness. If it doesn't work out, it's just, it wasn't meant for me. It's not my time. And that's okay. Because I think a lot of times we get so worked up, and when things don't quite work out in our timeline when we want them, it can cause a lot of challenges. We can get depressed and sad and questioning, like, why did I waste all that time, or whatever it might be. But it just is a real peacefulness about it, that it's okay. Just keep going. What is meant for you won't pass you.
Yeah, that's some very solid advice. Well, I think I'll be taking that one on because I've never heard that one before, but it rings so true. It's like when one door closes, another one opens. It's life has a funny way of doing that.
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's been a little while since we've worked together. So I'm curious, what have you noticed or what's changed since we were working together?
Yeah, no, it was such a transformative experience working with you. I love the leadership, the personal leadership that really I acquired from our work. And what I appreciated is that you always met me where I was at, not letting me off the hook by no means. There's certainly, the accountability aspect I really appreciate, but I need to be first and foremost accountable to myself. I mean, it's so important to have that accountability partner that you respect, that you show up for, but you really need to have the personal accountability. And I've done more and more of that. So in my own world, you gave me the tools, provided me the tools, and created the habits that I've been able to be consistent with in my own world. So I really practice what I preach. So I'd never get a client to do anything that I haven't done or would not do. So I do the techniques on myself each and every day. And it's just really allowed me to really level up in my world, and step into, yeah, a more of a leadership role. Like, I always consider myself a bit of a leader, but I don't know, there was a bit of a disconnect. Like, I was playing a role more so, put on a certain suit or uniform, and then I would be the leader. But now I can demonstrate and embody leadership in myself, in my authentic self, in any situation, no matter what I'm wearing. And that is all about the personal leadership.
Been wonderful seeing you shine and just watching your journey unfold. And that's my whole philosophy of being able to lead yourself. Are you leading yourself in that right direction? So I think it's absolutely wonderful. And that comment about you're not expecting those things of clients, I think it's such an important one, that we walk this journey first and we're able to speak with that authenticity. And you're very big on that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've always operated that way, and even in different work roles previously, like, I would never ask someone else to do something that I haven't or couldn't do myself. So there's a real integrity piece around that. So yeah.
Very admirable. Can you share an example of a success story that with someone you've worked with that's really stayed close to your heart?
Oh wow, there's been a number of success stories. Yeah, there's a woman that I was working with more recently, and when she came to me, she was in a really dark place. What she'd been through was just unbelievable. One human being dealt such a bad hand in this world, and so much tragedy and trauma, and she'd lost sight of herself. she was really playing small. And when we first met, she was even hiding. She would just not disguise herself, but she would wear a hat and, and like kind of cover it and sort of not clear lighting, but just really hiding, just afraid of being seen. And one of her goals was to become the strong woman again, to step up, the woman that she once knew before all this tragedy in her life, and rediscover joy. And it was incredible working with her, because starting at a very fragile place, and within the first few weeks, like I could see her blossom, and she was showing up with more confidence. Then the hat came off, then she colored her hair, something she hasn't done for many, many years, then put a little bit of makeup on and started putting herself out there rather than hiding. And yeah, she soared. It was incredible to watch. So I have a short 8 sessions, and then she's like this whole other woman, or really a remembering of someone that she once was many years ago, but had lost sight of that person. And it was such a joy to witness such powerful transformation.
Mm. Think that's incredible. It really is what coaching is all about. And so many of us, we start in that hiding phase, and it's surprising, not surprising, but amazing what coaching can do when someone's in that space. It is that darkness and the opposite of that being shining in the light. And I know it sounds cliche, but it is so true to what it can do for people. And I personally started there myself. So hearing that you've been able to help someone in that particular situation in 8 weeks, that's amazing.
Thank you. Thank
Mm.
you. No, it's such a gift to be able to watch that as well. And yeah, it feels great. Like I'm so proud and excited for her, but it's very fulfilling for me as well.
So what motivates you to keep learning and growing like you are?
Well, for me, personal development is high on my values. I just always want to be better, continue to grow, continue to learn. So I'm not afraid of falling down. I'm not afraid of looking silly. Like I'll learn and try new things quite regularly. And I think that's the gift and the experience of life, like to really dive in, and knowing that, we won't know unless we try. And then if we try and we like it, then we continue and develop that competence and enjoy the thing in time. So for me, it's always that incremental growth, like getting a little bit better, every day getting a little bit better in all areas. So whether that be, health and wellness, what can I do today just to be that little bit better? How can I slightly move the needle on my diet? What about my exercise? What about how I'm, speaking, communicating, reading? What am I reading? All these things. So yeah, personal development is very, very high on my values. It's something that I work on every single day, and just just wanting to be better, knowing that my potential, I haven't even scratched the surface of my potential. And that's what I teach my clients as well. Like, we haven't even tapped into all that juicy goodness that we have, all that potential that we have inside. And we access that by growing ourselves, by developing ourselves.
Juicy goodness. That's a really good way to describe it. And I think it comes back to what you were talking about earlier about fear and expanding that and just getting into just that slight area beyond that. And that's the growth. And it talking about the darkness or the retreat, that hiding that we do, to growing, it is that fertilizer, for the lack of a better word, that, well, it just keeps growing, and that's what does bring more. So
Yeah, and it feels so good. Like sometimes I really have to stop and think how far I've come. Like I forget, like here I am now doing this thing, but I
yeah.
struggled for many, many years, and I see other people struggling, and to be able to overcome, you know, and grow, it feels so good. And it not only does it feel good, it becomes easy. So something that was once very hard and very confronting and stressful now is pleasurable, it's enjoyable, it's fun. So can you imagine, like all these things that people avoid doing because of fear of what might happen, how might I look, and I won't be able to do it properly, or whatever the story is they have about it. And then they do the thing and they do it again, and it creates the competence. And then one day it's enjoyable and fun. How cool is that?
Yeah, so much so. And that's a lot of what coaching provides, that on the other side of that goal is, it starts with fear and then you're comfortable. And it's just amazing what the opportunities in life that can bring.
100%. And the thing is to never stop, never stop challenging yourself, never stop growing. And I think it was Bob Proctor. I've been listening to Bob Proctor recently, and it's like every day we should put ourselves in a position where we're uncomfortable. Do something that makes you uncomfortable, because that creates the growth. If we're just sitting back pretty, yeah, this is all good, we're not growing, we've stopped growing. So just challenge yourself every single day, whatever that look like. So but
Mm.
very, very important to keep that growth happening.
Mm. Mm. So, what would be one piece of future advice you would give yourself to stay true to? If you looking back and reflecting, what's that one piece of advice that you want to see yourself stay true to?
Ooh, what a great question. Um, I think always remembering what's important to me and being true to that, and not wavering from that, being influenced by another person. Um, yeah, just really staying true to your values, identifying your values, and then you can see when you are off course and you can do a course correct. Because there's been times in my life where I've not been aligned and I've been doing things that are very, very different to what is important to me. And in doing so, I haven't been happy. I've been in dark places. I've struggled with depression a long time ago. And it's because, yeah, it just wasn't my truth. So continue to come back. If things don't feel right, if I'm not happy, what am I doing right now? What what are things I'm doing? Who am I surrounded by? And seeing, okay, am I out of alignment? And let's sort that out. Let's get me back on track. So that's what I'd say, like continue to tune into to what is important. When you're not happy, okay, let's get happy. How do we get happy? We realign with our truth and our core values.
The body, mind, spirit is almost always communicating something.
Sense. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing so much with us today. And your story is absolutely inspirational. And I love the way that you speak so authentically to what coaching is. And you touched on fear, on the acting element and how it all relates, and visualization. So for people who want to spend more time learning about your journey, where can we follow this journey as it unfolds?
Yeah, well, I have Facebook. Facebook is a go-to. So just under my name or my website. So that's AnnitaGibson.com. It's two N's in Annita. And yeah, you'll find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. But yeah, follow me. That'd be great.
I appreciate your time, your wisdom, and the conversation today. I think there's so many diamonds in there. And I will wrap up with winners never quit and quitters never win. Thank you, Annita.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bianca. This has been an absolute treat speaking with you today.